with some meetings, some work out there on the field, which is really good. Got some competitive periods, which we needed, and then we'll set our sights on Miami come Wednesday. But just felt like it was important to get the guys back in here, talk to them a little bit in these meetings, and then get out there on the field. With that, I'll take any questions.
So Denzel and Wyatt, are they trending toward playing Sunday?
I think they're trending appropriately. I think they're both in different injuries, all those type of things, but I think they're both making steps.
But, you'll talk about self-scouting all the time. How did that go for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's always good, Jeff. I think it's you have to be doing a self-scout each week. You can't wait till you're 4 weeks in or 8 weeks in, whatever it is. So you're keeping close tabs on that. But I do think it's a time, that bye week, especially where ours was, to really take a big step back and look at what we're doing: offense, defense, special teams, and look at the things that we're doing well, some of the things that we need to clean up. But really, it was helpful to go through that process.
Has Denzel been fully cleared?
I think he's still in the next step of the process.
And with JOK and David Njoku, are you optimistic they might practice this week?
I think we'll have to see on those guys.
How was Denzel injured with that concussion? Was it a tackle? Or
I don't know the specifics. I'm not sure.
The bye week, how do you feel that your guys were able to focus and not only come back and ready to play against the Dolphins, but come back refreshed with their bodies healthy and all?
Yeah, I think, Jordan, with that time, you're trying to get guys healthy. You're trying to get fresh. And I think the guys were able to do that. It's still a time to rehab and those type of things. And for the players, if they can sneak out of town for a little bit and be with their families, I think that's important. But there are a lot of guys here working, a lot of guys getting better from a rehab standpoint. So I think that's it's always a good time where the guys can get a little bit of a recharge.
What kind of challenge does Miami present, especially with the speed that they have at receiver?
Yeah, obviously, you start to watch their tape, and those two receivers are special. The quarterback's playing at a high level. Like I said, we'll get into more of the specifics as we get going this week, but just watching them, they're doing a real nice job being able to push the ball down the field, get the ball in their hands on some catch and run opportunities.
I know when we talked to Andrew last week, you talked about taking the week and kind of maybe leaning into your strengths as a team, even if those strengths weren't necessarily what you expected in the offseason or preseason. I guess, what are some of those strengths to you, and do you guys feel like you did that this past week?
Yeah, I think you definitely look at that, Ashley, and then kind of see where the tape goes, see where the numbers go and those type of things. And it is true, I think, year in and year out, and you can get as specific as you want in terms of a run type or a coverage type, those type of things. There are some things that you come out of the spring feeling like you'll be good at, and then you're just not for whatever the reason, and there's always many reasons. But I think that was part of the process of looking at those things and saying, can we get better and at that particular thing? Can we put in the work to get better at that? And if the answer is no, you got to move on and try something else.
When we talked to David Njoku after he suffered that ankle sprain, he seemed kind of optimistic that the bye week, if he were to miss time, the bye week would help shorten that time. Just where do you think he's at? How optimistic are you that he could potentially
I think it's too early to say one way or the other. I think he's rehabbing very hard. Was here all weekend trying to get better. So I think we'll certainly know more as the week goes on. But it's hard to handicap it right now.
Isaiah Thomas made a couple of notable plays in that Monday night win. What do you think he's doing well, and how much do you think that hand injury during camp maybe affected his progress?
Yeah, I think any injury, and in that case with him not being able to stick his hand in there and really playing on only one side, that's tough to work through. But as you see him getting more opportunities and a little bit more exposure to him, I think you're seeing a player that's going to do his job every play. He's going to know what to do. He's going to do it. Got his hand on a ball, has gotten a sack. So I just think he's a good all-around football player the more reps that he gets.
Kevin, is it the same way with Michael Woods? Because it seems like the last couple of weeks you're really seeing a lot more out of him in terms of snaps on the field.
Yeah, I'd say very similar, very, very similar. But, Woods was working through injuries towards the end of camp and those type of things, but he's healthy, getting more of an opportunity, was active for the first time a few weeks back. So he is somebody that you definitely could see a little bit more of if he earns that role.
Anything from your overall "we're back to work" message that you can share with us?
No.
Was it? I mean, did you spend time thinking I have to dwell on this, or was today just kind of a normal?
No, I think, today is important, and the bye week's important to reframe and look at where you are as a team and spend some time on each one of those levels. So we spent some time as a team this morning talking about where we are, things that we want to do better, and then I think then you break up and you do that from the offensive, defensive, special teams level. You break into positions. You really go back to each player and say, all right, here's some things you're doing well. Here are some things that we need to do better. And I think if you have that mindset of each part of this team is going to try to do their job and do their job a little bit better, I think that's where improvement comes from.
Kevin, I mean, I know you guys go week to week, but did you get a sense of like maybe a renewed belief that this team is in the playoffs or in the playoff hunt and can get it done?
No, I think the guys are focused on the work. I think focused on getting back out there on the field off of the long weekend and individual period, just moving them around. I think that's kind of where we are, not really thinking big picture.
Down special teams, did you see areas where you guys could try to become more consistent, and how important is it for that to happen?
Yeah, definitely. And I think there will be opportunities for us to help this team win in the coverage phases and the return phases. Obviously, field goal, extra point, those every phase is going to have an opportunity to help us. And there's definitely areas that we need to shore up. And I think coaches are working real hard on that. Players are working real hard. And I feel good about where we're going.
Starting the clock on him, designate him to return. Is the plan to put him back at kick returner once he is activated?
Yeah, I think certainly that's an option. Need to see where he is physically over the next couple weeks and see if that's where this is heading. But I was liking the things he was doing prior to getting injured as a kick returner.